What is up, guys? I am praying to God that is working. Let's just let me just test something real quick, guys. I want to make sure that this mic is working because yesterday this sound was terrible, and I just got this new fancy, schmancy, expensive mic because I'm like the sound is always off my videos, and it's ghetto. So hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Um, let's see. All right, so we're gonna get this party started. First of all, welcome to the Lunch and Learn, y'all. I am committed to popping up on y'all at 1 p.m. every single day. First of all, because I just love lives, but also because the book Breaking Barriers is about to come out, and I am incredibly excited about it. Y'all, if y'all didn't catch my live yesterday, I want you to go back and watch that live because that live was fire. That live was fire. I yesterday I went through the entire book, chapter by chapter, the entire book, y'all, yesterday, and I even cried like twice. I went back on the video. It was long too. It was almost 45 minutes, I want to say. It was a little long, y'all. Your girl was doing what she does best. Hello, friends. Welcome. Y'all, if you have questions also about beauty supply or anything, as I'm just talking my head off, you can drop it in the chat because I can't see the comments. Um, we have Deborah from Columbia, South Carolina in the building. Welcome. It is good to see you. So yes, I'm very excited, y'all. The book is called Breaking Barriers: How to Fund, Launch, and Scale Your Own six-figure beauty supply store, and against all odds, because we got to put that in there to keep it 1,000 because opening a beauty supply store is not easy, but it is so worth it. Best decision of my life, and I write why in my book Breaking Barriers. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about my introduction, and my introduction is entitled "It's Our Turn," right? And I feel strongly about Black women owning beauty supply stores, and that's literally the title of this video is that it is our turn, and the reasons why Black women should own and literally change the face of the beauty supply industry. Okay, so just to give you guys a little reference, I started my store. I started in the industry 15 years ago. I was 24 years old when I opened my first beauty supply store here in Queens, New York. And I opened it without a huge budget. I opened it without partners. I opened it without a mentor or coach or anyone that I could look to online. Um, and I had a really small budget. So I opened my store. We ran those stores for over 8 years. And then after I had my Irish twins retired because I was like, this retail life is not going to keep up with the way I'm having babies every single year. I had a child every single year that I was married, y'all. It's absolutely insane. But anyway, so once I retired, actually running, I picked up teaching other people how to open stores and helping other people to open stores. So the first half of me being in this industry, I own the stores, and then the second half of me being in this industry, for the past 7 years, we've been teaching hundreds of Black men and women all over America, the islands, and Canada how to launch, fund, and start beauty supply businesses. So that is kind of what my 15 years. I know I still look 15, but that's kind of how my 15 years in this industry looks like so far because I'm still in it, still doing this great work. Um, but today I'm really excited because yesterday we kicked off um, the official launch of my book. I did like a pre-launch earlier this year around my birthday, and had to go back to the drawing board, y'all. Had to go back to the drawing board and kind of update the book and change things around. It just wasn't ready for the public to have it. So I call this like my second edition of this book, even though I never published like the first one. But this second edition, I'm very proud of. I think this book is fire. It has all of my gems in it, everything. I took 2 years, y'all, to write this book. So it is absolutely everything. I poured my entire heart into this book. Years and years and years of experience of me running my stores and then also helping other Black people open stores. So I truly believe that this book is a movement in of itself. Okay. Because this season, y'all, this year, this quarter, I believe is absolutely our turn. I think the tables are turning in this industry and also in this economy for Black women to step up and become owners. Okay. Because there was a statistic that came out where over 300,000 Black women had lost their jobs this year, in a quarter, actually, to be exact. And that may seem like terrible news, but for some women, this may be the sign and the push that you need to start your own business, because this happened to me when I was working for corporate America in 2000, I would say in 2008, 9. Right after graduating school, I went to business school. I worked for one of the top investment banks in the world, Goldman Sachs. So I was working on Wall Street. And then I also worked with the U.S. Treasury Department. So when I hear that the government is laying off people, and it sounds terrible, this is exactly what happened to me. I was laid off for my good paying, stable job, quote unquote, or seemingly stable job. And I was forced to figure it out. I was fired and forced to figure it out. And that is where I stumbled across beauty supply and wanting to really pursue this industry, because I always just thought it was very interesting, the industry. I always thought it was so interesting that so many Black women freaking the beauty supply store, but we don't have any Black owned beauty supply stores, but most of the customers are Black women. I just thought that that was so weird. And every time I was in a beauty supply store, y'all, I would spend a ton of money. And I would look around and I would see other Black women spending a ton of money. So I always thought, like, why isn't that we don't have ownership in here? Because clearly people are they're making money. I see a beauty supply store in every, on every corner in the hood. Like here in Queens, there's a beauty supply store everywhere. In Brooklyn, there's a beauty. You can sometimes find two and three beauty supply stores on the same strip, on the same block. So there was no lack of beauty supply stores. But what I didn't find was the actual beauty supply store that actually catered to and gave a high end experience. Right. So right now, guys, we are in this Black girl luxury era, right? And we are craving more as Black women, who are sometimes we are the breadwinners, and sometimes sole providers in our household. And so I was looking for a store that can give me an elevated experience, and I could not find that. So that is when I made the decision to go and step out and get and start my own business. So, girl, um, we are doing, just so y'all know, we are doing our virtual launch party November 1st for my book. So if you comment launch in the chat, I will send you the link so that you can join, and also join my virtual launch party and also get the book. It is called Breaking Barriers, and I'm super excited for you to get your hands on it. So yeah, so just let me know that in the chat. I'll send you a link. So let me get into what I want to talk about for today specifically. Um, so like I said, for decades, right, Black women have been the number one consumers in the beauty supply industry. We annually spend billions every single year and own less than 7% of these stores. So think about that. The same community that fuels this industry barely participates in ownership. But here's the thing, guys, the tides are turning. Like I said, we open this book with a declaration that it's our turn. Let me just go to it. It is our turn to change the face of this industry. It is our turn to profit where we purchase and to control the narrative of beauty in our communities. And this is literally what this movement is about. It's about reclaiming what belongs to us. I talk about also in this book the fact that there were some significant pioneers that came in this industry before us. Madam C.J. Walker and people of her time in the 1920s were self-made millionaires. And so Black women, we're not new to this, we're true to this. We've already have the blueprint. And also I want to point out that in the 1920s, when we had our original pioneers that went on to become millionaires at that time. Now you think about 1920s millionaire, that would be current day billionaire status, right? That would definitely be current day billionaire status. But to think that they started their business during the worst time, which was the Spanish flu pandemic, hundreds of people were sick, right? The only pandemic we've experienced was COVID. It wasn't as bad as the Spanish flu, y'all, but they started and they became millionaires. So it goes to show you when people are brave enough and courageous enough and have enough resolve to start a business in an industry where everybody else, 99% of people are scared to start, and you're part of the 1% that starts, you're going to literally be successful faster than you would in a good economy where everybody's willing to start a business. Everybody feels confident to start a business. That's exactly what happened to me. I started my store in 2018, y'all. I mean, 2010, not 2018. 2010, I started the stores. We started the retail jeans in 2018. In 2010, I started the stores. And again, that time was a very bad time. We had experienced the mortgage crisis. Unemployment was at an all-time high, and trying to find gas for your car literally was like gold at that time. It was a terrible, terrible time for the economy when I started my store. But guess who still did it anyway? Did I start my store with fear, with a little bit of anxiety? Absolutely. I think at any time you're starting any business or any new thing, you are going to have some level of fear and anxiety. But what helped me to push through and push past that fear and anxiety of just starting a new business, but then also starting a business during an economic downturn, was the fact that I was so passionate about what I wanted to create. I saw the vision of my store with clear eyes. Like I saw everything very clearly of how I wanted the store to look, how I wanted my girls to look, which was my beauty reps, how I wanted the shelving to be. I saw everything very clearly, and I was so passionate about it that I knew like I could not fail at this. I could not fail at this. There was no way, and I did it anyway. So this industry, and let me just give you guys some numbers here. This industry generates over $85 billion with a B annually. And once again, those dollars do not circulate within the Black community. So when you actually take the leap and you open your beauty supply store, again, guys, it's not just about selling products and making money. That's a good part of it. That's a big part of it. But you're actually participating in circulating those dollars back into your community, creating jobs, and building wealth that does not end with just you. And that is a very powerful thing to be a part of. So every store that opens under Black ownership is a form of resistance. It's a form of restoration. And this is legacy, literally legacy in action. Like the same way we had our civil rights movement, and there were very few people who went out and protested and was willing to get, hosed down. And the dogs came, all of those horrific things that happened, right? It brought us to this place to where we can continue on the movement for economic freedom. We still don't have that as a Black community. We still don't have economic freedom, guys. So this is a different type of movement that you have the privilege right now to be a part of history, a part of the 1% of people who own Black owned beauty supply stores. So if you have been waiting for the right time, y'all, right now, this is it. 2025. This is your time to set up to actually launch your store in 2026. So inside this amazing book, guys, I talk about how we lost the ownership of Beauty Supply, because I mentioned we were the pioneers. And I want y'all to be very clear on this history. And that's why I love to talk about the history. We were pioneers, guys. We are not doing something for the first time. We have powerful Black women who have come before us and did this type of work. And so we have this resolve already instilled in us that we can continue to carry this torch towards economic freedom.